Hello, this is Dr. Swanberg. I am here to walk you through the English 101 syllabus for spring 2015. It is a 3-credit course, and a printable copy of this syllabus is in Blackboard under the syllabus. It's also under Week 1, Unit 1 activities. Okay, so our class meets Tuesday, Thursdays, 8 to 9:15 in room 257. And we are a full-term course starting spring, January 9th to April 29th, and final exams follow that April 29th date. I am your instructor. I am Dr. Ann Swanberg. You can call me Dr. Swanberg or just Doctor. My office is in the back of classroom 254, and my office phone is 929-3452. However, it's much more expedient to get in touch with me by email, and that email address is aswanberg@lawsonstate.edu. There's also, however, an Email My Instructor button in your Blackboard course right up at the top that will automatically send you an email and automatically tell me which class you're in. If you do email me from an email outside of the Lawson State or outside of Blackboard, please remind me which class of mine you're in, so that I can help you without having to go back and forth. Remember, I teach about 5 different classes at a time. Okay. We are going to be a course that uses Blackboard. All of our classes here at Lawson use Blackboard. I particularly use it a lot. And if you're in class today, I'm going to give you a quick run through of what our Blackboard site is going to look like. We also use some supportive software called Launchpad, and we'll discuss that as we go. And when we do, I'll have a tutorial on how to sign up for it and the basics of using it. English Composition 1 provides instruction and practice in the art of writing an essay. At least 6 extended compositions are required. That's so that you can transfer from one college to another anywhere in the South and have what you do here count for English Composition 1. In order to take this class, you have to have either placed into it with a really strong ACT score or a Compass score, or you may have taken English 093 and done really well in there. So congratulations for being in English 101. That means you did a great job. All right. Next, we're going to talk about the textbooks. You're going to have a textbook called Joining the Conversation. It's the 2nd edition. You can buy it used, but please make sure you are using the 2nd edition. You will also be using the Bedford Handbook. This is the 9th edition. And these are bundled in the bookstore, and they include student access to the Learning Curve and Launchpad. If you buy them used, you can get access to Launchpad and Learning Curve, and I'll tell you more about that as we go. But you do definitely need a book. We will be using it heavily this semester, both of them. Can't survive without it. The Bedford Handbook is a book I would never sell back because it's a book that will help you do all of your writing throughout your college career. So don't sell it back when you're done. That Bedford Handbook is a gold mine. It's wonderful. All right, we have major assignments in this class. In particular, we have you'll notice that all of our essays have to be between 750 and 1,000 words. One of our essays has to have a research component to it. So we'll talk more about that as we go. But you can see that we have 6 essays to write. There are 2 different exam essays at the end. One is designed by me for our class particularly, and the other is a departmental exam. And you do have to take both of them, and they count as your last 2 essays. So we will be practicing in-class writing by doing drafts of our other essays in class, just to give you practice in timed writing. We will also use lots of peer feedback. We'll learn how to generate a good thesis. We'll learn how to generate good support paragraphs, use different rhetorical patterns of development, check essays for unity and coherence, and of course edit your work for mechanics. That's spelling, grammar, and that sort of thing. You can read through that list of competencies. Those are the things we have to do. You will have several quizzes. It says Learning Curve quizzes, Launchpad quizzes, in-class assignments and quizzes, homeworks and discussions. And so these are some of the things that are non-negotiable. Every English class has to have these things. So these are what we get to work through together. Evaluation and assessment. Again, a total of 6 papers will be written in English 101, and these are required by the transfer guidelines. Okay. It says here that no late papers will be accepted for any reason except in documented emergency cases. All papers must be word processed. No handwritten work is accepted. And we will be submitting these to Blackboard, first as a draft, which will be reviewed for feedback. And then after each submission, it will be submitted again and graded. You can submit more than once, but we'll talk about the logistics of that as we go. But absolutely no late papers. Because you can submit through Blackboard, I expect everything to be in on time unless there's an emergency which would cause you to not be able to get to your computer. So that would have to be some pretty serious situations. Okay, your grade breakdown, your assignment average, and that's an average of a lot of small assignments, the learning curve assignments, launchpad assignments, outlines, drafts, peer reviews, discussion posts, quizzes, etc., etc. That's a 45% of your grade. So it's kind of participation. If you're doing the work and coming to class and keeping up with the work, that's 45% of your grade right there. And it's pretty easy to do well on those. So a good 45% of your grade is really just keeping up with the day-to-day. We do have major essays, 35%. So when one of these major essays comes up, you really cannot afford to miss it. The average of 4 of them is 35% of your grade. And I'll walk you through some of this math a little later. But the idea is that if you miss one of these major essays, you're probably not going to pass the class. Both the exit exam and the final exam are worth 10% of your grade, so missing either one of those will bring you down a letter grade. So you can see that each essay is worth really quite a bit, and also the day-to-day keeping up with your work is worth almost half the grade, so that's a big deal. No essay grades are dropped in this course, and there is no rounding up of final course grades. Do not turn in if you don't turn in a paper in this class, it can result in a D or an F for the course, so you have to make sure that you're really staying on top of things. Okay, I'm going to just show you these pages and then let you read them on your own. There may be some questions on this section of the syllabus on your quiz over the syllabus, so please read them carefully. These are the standards for evaluating writing, and you'll see these appear as grading rubrics in the assignments as we go along. So it describes what an A is, what a B is, what a C looks like, and what a D looks like. And these are not set by me. These are things that are set by the department. So I don't have any wiggle room here. And as I said, we'll make sure that you understand all of these things and you know how to achieve an A and know what an A looks like as we go along. And here is an important thing. There's a section where it says that it requires assistance. And that means that we're really worried about you and we'd really like to make sure that you get some help. It may mean that you need to come see me for some extra help or even to visit with a tutor to get some extra help. And when we offer you that, please take us up on it. We're not scolding you. We're asking you to come in for some help that we really want you to have so that you can succeed. And in those cases, do come immediately. If you've been asked to seek some help, come get some help. We want to help you. We want you to succeed. All right, plagiarism. Plagiarism is taking someone else's work and calling it your own in any way, shape, or form. 1 word, 2 words, 5 words. It doesn't matter how many words you plagiarize. If you're saying somebody else's words as if they're your own, it's plagiarism. It can be intentional. I've seen a lot of that. It can be unintentional, copying and pasting someone else's work without proper documentation. So we're going to learn a lot about how to cite properly. But if I've told you that it should be written all in your own words, that's what I expect. And I expect a very clear differentiation between your words and someone else's words when we do start using research. Plagiarism is a very serious offense and it will result in disciplinary action every single time. The Student Code of Conduct online will tell you what the offenses are for plagiarism, but I take this very seriously and I do report every single time. Okay, attendance. Really, attending this class is crucial. I've seen an absolutely direct correlation between the students who attend and the students who do not do well. If you don't attend, you're not doing well. If you do attend, students are tending to do better. But really, when people stop attending, their grades just go right off the rails. We don't want that to happen to you. The only exceptions for, or the only, approved absences or excused absences are things that are beyond your control, like jury duty, military service, and ADA-related absences. Other than that, there are no absences. With that said, a lot of our work is online, can be done online, and if you are sick, please contact me and discuss it with me over email or phone instead of bringing yourself in sick. We don't want to spread sickness. This is a terrible year for flu, and we don't want to spread it around. If you are sick, please contact me, and we'll talk about how to keep you caught up without spreading the germs. All right. If your illness or whatever crisis is going on does keep you from coming to class on a regular basis, you might consider a withdrawal from this class. It may protect your grade point average. There may be a financial penalty, but you have to weigh that against what the financial penalty will be if you don't pass the class, because when you fall below a certain GPA, you don't qualify for those financial aid options. So talk to financial aid, talk to your academic advisor, and then make a good decision for yourself. Being tardy or late or leaving early may cause you to miss things, and that's something that's your responsibility. If you do have to come in late, please come in and make yourself comfortable quietly and try to listen and figure out what's going on. If everyone's working, please come up and see me right away so that you can find out what they're working on. I may ask you to sit quietly while I attend to other students if you're late. And I just expect you to kind of be quiet and let the flow of the class continue. If you have to leave early, please try to sit somewhere where you can exit the room without disturbing others. And you are at all times responsible for whatever you miss in class. So if you miss it in class, you've got to get it outside of class. All right, we will begin and end on time. On time is within the first 10 minutes. If I am ever late, I will give you a list of things that you can be doing while you are waiting for me. I do commute, and my daughter's daycare opens at 7:30, so it is a tight commute sometimes for me. But I will give you a list of things that you can be doing in those first 5 minutes if we are on our way. I will always end on time. If I don't end on time, you have the right to raise your hand and tell me it's time to go. I get a little carried away from time to time. There will be no breaks in our class. It's only a short class. You should be able to handle it. Just remember that if you do bring food or drink into the classroom, you should clean it up. And if you find a mess when you enter the room, please help us out and clean it up. We will be using computer labs from time to time in our class. And I do ask that you not have food or drink on the days when we are using a computer classroom. Okay, it says, once again, reminding you that no late papers will be accepted, and there are no provisions for making up work that you miss. So it's very, very important. It does say that in extraordinary circumstances, I can help you out, but you need to contact me and tell me what's going on as soon as you possibly can so that you can stay ahead. With classroom etiquette, we want you to be polite, we want you to be sweet and wonderful and helpful and supportive. We also want you to be engaged and active. We don't want you to on your Facebook or your phone texting. We expect you to put your phones away. I know it can be difficult to put them away and focus on the task at hand, but we expect that. And I do reserve the right to dismiss any student who disrupts the classroom environment and who is not following the rules of the syllabus or the rules of Lawson State. We expect you to be good citizens. Non-discrimination or harassment are something Lawson State takes very seriously. We will treat everyone in this classroom with absolute respect at all times. We will treat them equally. Everyone will be given equal opportunity, equal respect, and equal treatment in every possible way. Any practice or behavior that constitutes harassment or discrimination will not be tolerated by me, by Lawson State. And if that seems to be going on, come talk to me about it immediately and we'll get it sorted out. Remember that we can't treat anybody differently based on race, color, gender, religion, national origin, age, or disability. And remember, we don't know what someone's disability might be. We just have to treat them with respect. All right. Speaking of disabilities, the Americans with Disabilities Act says that certain students who have disabilities are due to have tools to help them do their best work despite their disability. Dr. Renee Herndon is your contact for that, and she can be reached at 929-3419. If you had accommodations in the past, you should still have them. I will get a letter from Dr. Herndon telling me what they are. It does not tell me what your disability is. It just tells me a list of the tools that you need, and I provide those tools without question. This is a contract, this syllabus that I've just gone over with you. So once you have read it carefully, I would like you to sign a copy of it just here on the last page. Just sign your name to it and bring me that last page signed. Even if you don't sign it, this is an implied contract. If you stay in the class, you are agreeing to this contract. So keep that in mind. It seems pretty straightforward to me, but again, you need to read it very carefully to make sure that you understand it before you take the quiz on the syllabus. Go ahead and email me if you have any questions about this syllabus or any questions about the course at all.